Lately, I've been thinking a lot about what makes a successful community. One that is inclusive to young and old, supportive of all, and creates a spot on this earth that people want to be. It's certainly not politics or religion or some arbitrary socioeconomic status assigned by a mysterious organization far, far away. Those are choices and decisions we make long after we've become a part of the whole. It's something more organic, an essence at the root of existence, the spark we come into this world with. It is, in fact, our humanity, our ability to deeply connect, not only with each other, but with the miracle of the natural world around us. It's the knowing that joy feels good and pain hurts just as much for someone we don't agree with. That laughter and joy can connect those who feel disconnected. The deep understanding that the little baby born next door will, over time, become a wizened elder with tales to tell and wisdom to share. It's the innate knowing that the cranky neighbor has been through struggles we can't even begin to know. That while this journey can be amazing and delicious and exciting, it can also be so crushingly painful at times. That's why we strive to ultimately choose patience, kindness, understanding. It's humanity that guides us into long hours of effort for someone other than ourselves. It's caring about that neighbor you've never met, but now needs help you're capable of giving. Ultimately, it's the humanity deep within us that can't be stolen. It is the lifelong gift we've been given. It's ours to keep and to share. It's a gift from the universe to nurture, develop, and cherish as the true essence of who we are. It is the power that weaves us together, the threads of our journey here. If you are a knitter or a crocheter and you buy your yarn from Michael's, which I did for a long time, do not make the mistake of going into one of those upscale yarn shops. Because the problem is, you literally can never go back. You can never go back, and this stuff is spendy. I'll tell you what. I just went into the local yarn shop, really sweet. I bought a bag of yarn to crochet a throw, and I just about had to take out a mortgage to do it. So just stick with what you know. If you don't, once you touch the, hand-dyed wool, it's game over. It's game over. You can't do anything else. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Where the heck am I? That's such a good question. I am actually now living almost totally out of the Oregon house in the Gold Rush area of California, which is the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas. And when they say Gold Rush country, what they mean is this is where the gold rush happened. And there are artifacts and remnants of that everywhere. This is kind of where it started with the whole gold rush thing. There's still a lot of gold out there. There's a lot of rivers and sort of thing that make it a very, very fertile environment for gold mining, gold panning, probably now. And the town I am in, and there's a lot of little towns sprinkled around this area. So think about it, cutting California in half with Tahoe at one side and then Sacramento and then San Francisco. So if you were to cut it horizontally, the Gold Rush area kind of hugs that horizontal line underneath the Sierras. The elevation here in the little town I'm in, and when I say little, I mean little, is about 3,200 feet. So we do get 4 seasons here. A little bit of snow, not a lot of snow. It's more like, you know, everybody's all tickled because it snowed and then it melts by noon, that sort of thing. It is absolutely beautiful. And when I say tiny town, I mean tiny town. The population over the entire area, you know, the downtown area is kind of, there's a residential area surrounding the little downtown area you can see behind me. I think the total population is about 14,000, which is not very many people. I think about, you know, lining up people on the streets, how many would that look at? We do not have a Walmart. We do not have a Home Depot. We do not have a Lowe's. It's a very, very small town, small business community. And you know what I realized, you guys? After I was here last time, this is where all the hippies went. Honestly, it is old hippieville. And it's so funny to me because I grew up in this area. This is where I grew up, about an hour from here. And then I raised my daughters most of their life about an hour from here, maybe 50 minutes from here. And I just know it so well because, you know, it was where I grew up and I know all the little ins and outs of this part of California. When I was here last time, I did send my daughter a couple of pictures of the trail that Lucy and I hike in the morning, which is the backside of Empire Mine. Empire Mine is now a state park, was a mine to begin with, and they've maintained a lot of the buildings and architecture there. And I live right at the backside of it where the trail system is. So that's where Lucy and I go and walk every morning and in the afternoons as well. So I sent my daughter a picture of where we were, you know, doing our little walks, Lucy and I, but I didn't send her any more pictures on my whole trip. But I got home and she texted me, she says, Mom, I guess you didn't like it up there because you didn't send me any pictures. And it made me laugh. I didn't send any pictures because it just feels like being home. And it didn't really dawn on me that I, you know, was not communicating. It just feels like home. I know this community. I spend a lot of time here. I know this area. It's on the way to Lake Tahoe, which is one of my favorite places on the planet. It just feels wonderfully comforting or home-like. So small town, no big box stores, sweet, sweet community. And I'll tell you, I have been kind of gobsmacked, I use a word, at how nice and kind everyone is. It's really been amazing. I picked up a piece of furniture yesterday, bought it from a gentleman, and he ended up offering to deliver it for me for $25. So I bought the piece of furniture, I paid him $25 to deliver it. I mean, it was heavy, and he huffed that thing into my house. And when he was done, he gave me a little hug. I mean, it was just really nice. So I'm thrilled to be in this part of the country. It is so beautiful. The things I can say about it. If you're looking for fast-paced nightlife, this place will make you crazy because that's not what it is. It's very quiet, very peaceful, very hippie-ish. All my neighbors are old hippies, so I fit right in. It's just sweet. It's slow. People are very, very connected to, well, healthy in a way of being outdoors and growing your own food and taking care of the planet. It's sweet in that way, and I really am appreciating that because I've been to a few places where maybe that's not the focus, other things are the focus. So beautiful little town, small little town, no Walmart to be found, which, to be honest with you, I couldn't be more thrilled about. It's raining. It's supposed to be raining not only all day, but for several days. And you know, it's so funny when you're familiar with an area, and I literally was born and grew up, and then raised my daughters about an hour from here. And I spent a lot of time in this area, the foothills, gold rush country of California. It feels so familiar. I mean, down to a cellular level. I get it. I get the weather. I know kind of what's going to happen, how it's going to feel. It actually is comforting. There's a level of comfort to it because I really resonate with this area because I've spent so much time here. So I am drinking coffee this morning and thinking about what I want to do with my day. And one of the things I do, and this is just a little tip, is I have these little coffee warmers, and I have, I think, 3 of them. So I keep them around the house, and that's how I can drink coffee for, you know, a few hours in the morning and have it stay warm. It's nice. I want to talk with you about something that has come up in my life that I think might be coming up in your life as well. If you were to talk with anyone who knows me, they would tell you that I am in charge of my life. And they would be right. I make decisions, I decide what I want, I take action, I don't sit around and wait for permission. I'm not asking anybody else's opinion unless they're really an expert in what it is I'm doing. I really do take charge of my life. Personal responsibility is really, really big on my list. And it might at sometimes be at the top of my list because I think that that's one of the tips and secrets to living on this planet that we get indoctrinated out of, is the fact that we are personally responsible for us. We came into this life, we got these bodies, we're walking around, and who is ultimately responsible for us? It's us. I'm really, really clear on that. So I have been in charge of my life for a long, long time now. And I can even remember when I was younger, this was before I was married, men would say to me when I was dating, they'd say, "You're really independent." And I'd say, "Yeah, I am." And this was in my early 20s. And it was independent to a point of I really did things that I wanted to do. I didn't do things I didn't want to do. For instance, when there was a party or an event or people were meeting up or something, I would always take my own car. Even though people would say, "No, ride with me, I'll pick you up, we're all going together," I'd say, "No, I'm taking my own car." Why? Because if it wasn't fun, I was going to leave. So I really do take charge of my life. I like it that way. But I've been noticing something lately, and I want you to tell me down in the comments, those of you who are, you know, a little awake, you're kind of catching on, whether this has come up for you too. If you have noticed that things seem to be manifesting a lot more quickly than they used to. It used to be things were so slow, but the energy on Earth has really, really shifted. And I was talking to a girlfriend the other day, Penny Kelly. You might know Penny. I talk with her on my other channel, which some of you watch. And Penny said, the universe is always working in your favor. And that really struck me at the moment that she said that, more than it had struck me in the years before. I mean, I've heard it. The universe is constantly working in your favor. But it really, really hit me this time. And I think I even said, "Really?" or "Are you sure?" or something like that. And I had been really thinking it over in my mind. The reason I'm bringing it up now is because even though it's my MO in my history to really take charge of my life, and I'm telling you what, ladies, I get stuff done. I get stuff done. I am in a place where I'm kind of loosening up a little bit. And I'll give you an example. When I was up here the last time I came up, which was earlier in the month, or late, it was late last month, and I was wanting to lock up a place to live. Now, there was a few criteria I had. I wanted to rent because I want to look around in the area for places to buy, and I want to get to know the area first. And I wanted it to be fairly small. The reason I wanted it to be fairly small was because I didn't want to buy a lot of furniture. Just knowing that my ultimate goal is to buy something and I don't know if the furniture is going to fit in my new place. I even looked at a few places that were furnished. So time was ticking and I looked around at a lot of different places and they weren't really hitting it for me. And then I came to look at this place. And when I came in, I looked around and I thought, oh my gosh, it is so small. It is so small. Did I mention it's small? It's small. It's very, very small. And I thought, I don't know if I can make this work, you know, because I work out of my home, I have stuff, I like to do projects, that sort of thing. But then I was standing and talking to the agent that was showing me the place, and I only had a day and a half left here, and I hadn't found any place. And something in me said, just let go. Just let go. And maybe just step into what's right in front of you. This is a little voice going on in my head. So I kind of hesitated for just a few minutes, and I knew that this place was going to go quickly because most places in this area do go quickly. And I just took a beat or two and I said, okay. It wasn't my first choice. My first choice had been rented already. After, you know, I went and saw it, the agent said this place has been rented. So I said, okay. And I'm telling you what, this is the honest truth. When I went back to my Airbnb after I had said, okay, and in my mind, I say, okay, that's a deal, even though we hadn't signed the contract yet, but I knew, you know, I had made the commitment. So I went back to my Airbnb, and I'm telling you what, I was kind of stressed. Well, not stressed. I was just mulling it over like, is this place going to be too small? Am I going to be able to make it work? And that has been on my mind nonstop. So now I'm here. I'm going to be here about a week. I've been here a couple of days now. And you know what? I'm really noticing things about this place that are so much better than the one that I really wanted to rent. And I'm finding it interesting because it's the little things that really matter to me. You know, a coziness in a home, a sweetness in a location, being around nature. And as you can see out my windows, I have such a view of nature. And what I'm noticing, and I think there's going to be more that are going to come up, what I'm noticing is that these are the things that really, really matter to me, that I wasn't considering when I was thinking I wanted the other place. And I'm really mulling over the concept that the universe really is working in my favor. And there were forces at hand that understood what I was really looking for as opposed to what I thought I was looking for. So that concept is kind of clunking around in my mind, particularly because I'm noticing things manifest really quick lately. Really quick, particularly if I think about them, decide that was something that I would like, and then I let it go. It seems to come around quicker that way. So one of the things that I am doing right now is I am letting go a little bit more than I usually do. I am focusing on what gets presented in front of me, what comes up, who comes up, what things come into my experience. So what I want to know from you guys is, first of all, are you noticing things manifest a lot quicker than they have in the past? And number two, has this concept of kind of letting go been popping up in your mind. Because what I know for sure is that if it's popping up in my mind, that means it's in the field. And more people are going to start thinking about it. So I want to know if you guys are starting to think about it too. It is in a way more relaxing because I'm not constantly being in the position of having to evaluate my choices and make a decision based on that information. It's a little bit fun, it's a little bit exciting, it's a little bit surprising, but I'm going to stick with it for a little while and just see what happens. So anyway, it does beg the question, who's in charge here? I thought we would take a tour of the little hobbit cottage. That's what I call it. It's actually adorable, but did I mention small? It is really small. But one of the things that comes with it that I'm absolutely in love with is this side garden. The area that I am in, which is gold country in California, the foothills of the Sierras, is a gardener's paradise. Honestly, you could just about spit on the ground and grow something. It is so beautiful. While you can really grow things here, you still do get the 4 seasons. It's absolutely beautiful. So you can see the look of the fall, changing of the leaves and the dropping of the pine needles here, which I'm going to leave because they're really good for the soil. But this whole side yard is, you know, mine to hang out in and play with Lucy in. And you can see that the street is right down there. So I have a sitting area. I'm already thinking about where I'm going to grow tomatoes. And I think I'm going to do 1 zucchini plant and a cucumber. And I'm also going to start some fruit trees in pots so that I can get the trees growing. So when I find a place that I want to buy, I've got the fruit trees all ready to go. So this little area is so sweet and so beautiful that I just feel really lucky to have it. This is my new front door. I've already put a piece of pottery down there. I'm going to turn it into Hippieville. And you walk in, and I'm telling you, you guys, it's going to look a lot bigger on film than it actually is in person. Now this is the front room, and it is the dining room and the kitchen and the living room all in just one room. It is a small room. I think this whole space is maybe 350 to 400 feet. It really is very small. And I spent a lot of nights stressing about it, you know, because I kind of just took it because it's what was in front of me, you know, my whole new thing of letting go a little bit. But you know what? I've been here a few days. I've got about 5 more days before I'm going to go back up to Oregon for the last time. And I think it's going to be fine. I actually texted my daughter last night and I said, I think I'm a small house person because it is so easy and so convenient. And I just like the coziness of it. So I have started moving things in. You can see a few things from the old house in Oregon. I just picked this sofa up from a gal who was selling it off Facebook Marketplace. It's from Crate and Barrel, and it's like a $1,400 sofa. I was able to pick it up on Facebook Marketplace for $350, and I had a local guy. He was so wonderful. He had an ad on Facebook Marketplace that he did dump runs, and I messaged him and I said, "Do you move furniture?" And he said, "Sure." Nicest guy, does contracting during the week and just does this on the side. So he and I just moved this sofa in right here. The landlord actually left this little bistro table, and I've been using it to work on and have my morning coffee on and that sort of thing, but this will eventually go out front on the patio, and I'm going to do a little decor thing on that. And then, hi. Over here, I just picked up this dresser yesterday. Isn't that pretty? That is a Lane dresser. It is in such good shape. Picked it up off of Facebook Marketplace. I paid $200 for it. And then the guy, Wade, who was selling it, nicest guy, I paid him $25, and he hoofed that thing all the way over here and carried it into my place and then gave me a hug afterwards. So just, it has been such a delight. Everyone here is so friendly and so peaceful. You know, it's a small town and people are very small town minded. So the kitchen here is fine. It really has been. I just make sure that I wash the dishes right away. I've got a few dishes in the sink from my coffee this morning and such that are going to get washed and put away right away because there's not a lot of counter space. But it's been fine. The stove and oven work great, and I've got a little refrigerator. And then over behind the refrigerator is a pantry area that I put a big wire shelf from my old house in there, and I'm going to use that to store canned goods, which I have just a few of. I just buy organic tomatoes pretty much. And just things like kitchen trash bags and my dust buster, which right now is over on this unit. This unit I picked up from a gal that does staging for open houses. So I picked up that, and then this little side table right here, which is almost brand new, and then a little round table that's in the bedroom. I paid $100 for all three of those. Right here, what we're looking at, to me, is the most magical thing about this place. It makes me love it so much. These beautiful windows with all that greenery outside. And here's the funny part. Remember, I've said that I just kind of let go of the controlling a little bit and took what was in front of me. And what I realize now is the place that I thought I wanted did not have this. So I can sit here in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, when it's quiet, and have my coffee and look out at these windows and crochet. I mean, it's just absolutely magical. And it's very peaceful here because no one really comes by. Just a few neighbors walk and there's not much traffic. It's just so lovely. So for me, this is the highlight of this whole space. Then down the hall here, which is about 3 steps, there's not much of a hall, is the bedroom. And you guys, I'm showing you how it is. This is not Instagram. This is real life. It is fine. It really, really is. I was worried, like I said, so much that it wasn't going to be enough space and I'd made a bad decision. Turns out everything's fine. Can you see the little puppy sleeping over there on the bed? So this room came with this queen size Murphy bed, which I am not going to use. I actually asked the landlord if they would remove it, and they said no because it's bolted to the wall. So I'm going to work around it. I ordered a twin bed because I need the space in here because there's things I want to do, put my makeup on, use my rebounder. And so that bed is going to be put away, and I'm going to set up the twin bed, I think, over on this side here. I think a makeup table here. I think some type of little low bookshelf here. You'll notice on the floor, this is a beautiful wool rug that I just purchased off of Facebook Marketplace. This is probably a $1,500 wool rug, and I think I paid, oh gosh, I think it was $200, maybe $150. I can't even remember now, but it just wasn't much. But I really, really fell in love with it because it's a wool rug and it's just gonna last really nicely. And it's super, super soft and thick, so it's nice to walk on. And then back here is the little hobbit bathroom, which has actually been wonderful. There's plenty of counter space. There's a ton of storage underneath the sink. The shower is really small. I won't show it to you. It's just a stall shower with a little shower curtain, but the mirrors and the lighting work really, really great. So happy about that. I have been here and this trip, oh my gosh, I think for 3 nights, maybe 4 nights, I can't even remember anymore. And I have found the sofa, I found that little dresser. I only really need a couple of more items. I want to get a round dining table, a small round dining table. And the reason I want round is because everything's square here. So I want to soften up the edges a little bit with a round dining table or oval. And that's going to be a table clearly, and then also where I can do craft items like paint and other projects like that. So that's going to go right back here. I'm thinking underneath that mirror, I will get a sofa table with storage baskets underneath it. I can put a lamp on the sofa table and some decor items. So that's going to look nice there. I am looking at some rugs because this space has concrete floors and they painted them, but you know, the paint always comes up on concrete floors. It always does. It always chips. So I am putting rugs down. I've been looking at revival rugs for the rug here underneath the sofa. I'm really liking some of the styles there. It's just, they're creative, they're unique, they're really, really cool. If you haven't gone to Revival Rugs, look at it if you need a rug. They have some really, really nice ones. They're more artistic. I just like them a lot. So I'm going to order a rug for underneath the sofa, probably over in the dining area, and then I'm going to put a runner underneath the counter in the kitchen. That's at least my plans for right now. The bedroom already has the rug. I'm just waiting for delivery on the bed and the bed frame, which I ordered a while ago, but they ended up shipping it to my old address in Oregon. Amazon did. So it's sitting on my porch in Oregon. I told them, you're gonna have to come pick that up and send me one here to the address I ordered it at. Now, this is the new Hobbit Cottage. As much as I was worried about it, which is so unlike me, I'm really not a worrier at all. I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't. It is such a beautiful street in a beautiful little neighborhood. It's quiet, it's peaceful. It's just so lovely that I am thrilled beyond what I thought I would be. I hope you're going to join me as I continue to decorate and put this together. Honestly, and I told my daughter this, and I told Suzanne this, I said, it's going to be so stinking cute. It really is. And I can't wait to get it all fluffed up and have this cozy little space in this peaceful, sweet little town. So I have this nice little bookshelf, built-in bookshelf area in my little cottage here. I don't know what this bump out is. I don't know what's behind here. I wish it was cupboards that I could use. So I've been throwing all my decor items in here as I've been unpacking. It's nice because I can put all, you know, my mementos and things that mean something to me up in these shelves. So that's what I'm going to work on today. I also have my books over here. I've really kind of sorted through all my books and I've only kept the ones that I really like. This is The Robes by Penny Kelly. If you haven't read this, you might want to. This was, when was this written? Let me check. Okay, this was originally published in 1999. And in this book is everything that's going on the planet right now in 2025. So it's amazing. This is a book that I actually wanted to keep. So I'm going to go through my books, I'm going to put those up, and I want to kind of arrange this whole decor thing. That's my project for the next hour or so. I think it's going to go pretty quick. Oh, and here's another one by Penny Kelly, Getting Well Naturally. This is so good. It's really so good. It's all holistic treatments. I've done everything in this book just about. If you haven't read this, you might want to. I'll put these down in the description box below. You know, one of the things that I think that you're probably wondering, because I've been wondering it too, is why I ended up getting a place that's so small. And I think that's a really good question. The answer is super simple. I just didn't want to have to buy a bunch of furniture because I knew it was not going to be for very long. You know, I want to start looking for some property in this area and hopefully find something. You know, if it takes a year, that's fine. I'm good with that. But I wanted someplace that was going to be super, super easy. And already I've been here about, gosh, I can't even remember now, 4 or 5 days. I'm actually going back up to Oregon in about 4 days to do the final move out there. And I'm going for Thanksgiving over at Suzanne's house, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm the turkey this year. My birthday's on Thanksgiving. After I do the Thanksgiving at Suzanne's, the next day I'll be coming down here for good. So I'm looking forward to that. So back to why I rented someplace so small. It's just I didn't want to have to furnish a whole house. And you know, it's so funny. I talked about this earlier, that I have kind of shifted how I'm managing things right now, just as sort of an experiment. And what I have done is just kind of let go a little more than I usually do, because I'm usually like in charge. I'm absolutely in charge. I'm not a control freak for other people, and I don't think I'm a control freak about my life, because when things go a different direction, I try to find what's going to work for me. But for this move, I'm really just doing what presents itself to me, instead of orchestrating and deciding and negotiating and all the stuff that, you know, I've done all my life, because, you know, that's just what I've done. And I am realizing more clearly every day how perfect this location is. It's a perfect little size. I honestly, you guys, I think it's maybe 400 to 500 square feet. I mean, it's really little, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It feels so cozy. You know, the little things like this feel homey. The windows I have out there to the side yard that I'm gonna garden in this summer, it's just perfect. So that's why I picked someplace super small. I was in like 3,000 square feet up in Oregon. It was too big. It was too big. And I recognized that, you know, a couple of months after I got in there, because I'd be running upstairs to grab one thing and running all the way downstairs and this and that. And I don't know, this just feels so much better. So how small is small? I don't know. Maybe small actually is kind of perfect after all. This is my new sofa. It's actually a crate and barrel sofa. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace, and I thought it was kind of perfect. It's smaller, which it needs to be because this is a small space, and I didn't have any way to get it back here if, you know, I decided I wanted it, which I did. Well, I was on Facebook Marketplace and I typed in furniture movers, and what came up was people who did dump runs, like, you know, if you've got trash, I'll haul it away, that sort of thing. So I thought, well, what the heck, you know, if it's raining or it's the middle of the week, maybe they're not doing dump runs. So I contacted one of the guys and I said, hey, I'm thinking about getting a piece of furniture. I need it moved to my house. Will you do that? And he said, sure. And he showed up. He was the nicest guy. He's actually a general contractor who does remodels, bathrooms, and kitchens in the area. He and his wife just bought a house here. Super nice guy. And he just does this on the side, moves furniture on the side and just does, that sort of thing when, it's the slower months in the winter, which it is. He was so nice. It was a cool little exchange. He did a great job. We moved this in together. So this is my new sofa. So what's next for me? I leave in a few days to go back up to Oregon. I told you for the last little final move out and Thanksgiving at Suzanne's, which I'm so excited about. I'm so grateful for her friendship and just the connection we've made. She's going to come down here. We're going to do some thrifting. It'll be fun. We thrift together. If you don't watch my other channel, Studio Kimberly, you might want to. It's a thrift channel, and Suzanne thrifts with me a lot. We have a lot of fun. She's like the OG. She's the godfather of thrifting. She's been doing it for a long time and really knows what she's doing. So I'm going to go up there and then come back down, and then that'll be, it for Oregon. And then I'll just start my little life here. I actually feel really comfortable and at home, and it's so beautiful here, and everyone has really been so nice, so very nice. I almost feel like, and tell me in the comments if you've experienced this same thing, because the world is so goofy right now and there's just so much noise and nonsense. It seems to me that the interaction just between people has become softer and kinder and more gentle. Let me know if that's the way that you see it too. And I notice it over and over again. It's like everyone's just worn out and they just want to be kind and have kindness come back to them. That's certainly what I've noticed. Wouldn't that be interesting if we all learn how to love each other again? Because all that stuff out there is so goofy. So back to what's next for me. Just settling in. I'm going to start looking at properties and thinking about what I want and what areas. I know I definitely want a little bit of land, probably about an acre, maybe a little less. I need a flat lot, which in this area is kind of like the elusive unicorn because it's the foothills, there are flat lots. So I'll just hold out for one of those. And other than that, I don't have a lot on my plate other than just enjoying life and getting to know, what's going on in this area now. I certainly have spent so much time here growing up and when the girls were little, I am excited because my plan is working. Heather, my daughter, and her husband, Ryan, are already scheduled with an Airbnb right down the street from me. They can actually walk to my place for December to come up for Victorian Christmas that gets held in Nevada City every year. If you haven't seen Victorian Christmas or heard about it, you can Google Nevada City Victorian Christmas. It's so wonderful. They close off the main street and it's really like Victorian. They're roasting chestnuts and there's jugglers and people dressed up in costumes. It's really, really beautiful. And there's vendors and food and that sort of thing. So they're going to come up and stay for a few days and do Victorian Christmas. And I'm sure we'll hike and eat some good food and have some fun. So that to me feels really, really good. And to be honest with you, it feels really good here just in general. I'm not looking forward to going back to Oregon so much. I mean, I'm looking forward to going to Suzanne's house, but I'm kind of disappointed to be leaving here because it's so beautiful and it just feels so peaceful and comfortable. So that's my story, moving from 3,000 square feet down to 400 square feet. I think it's going to be fine, you guys. And if you have any small house tips, organizational tips, put them in the comments because I'm all ears. I think I'm kind of ahead of the game because I was looking at tiny houses and thinking about how could I store things. So I was already down the road of living smaller and being more, you know, organized with how to pack things away. So anyway, that's what I've got for you today. Thanks so much for stopping by. You guys know it just makes my day when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything beauty, fitness, and lifestyle for the over 50 and over 60 woman. Say hello to Lucy. Make it a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now. What you going?